Hello and welcome to round 9 here at GP Prague. We have a fantastic match ready for you. We have Sweden's Marcus Angelin on our left and Mark Tobias on our right. Of course, Mark Tobias, well-known player from Germany, a Haruya pro. And Marcus Angelin, a very respectable Swedish player who's been in around GP Top 8 before, and they both are 8-0. So I'm really curious to see what their decks consist of.
Yep, so not only Grand Prix veterans with a lot of Magic playing experience, but probably also pretty sweet decks. These are at the top of the standings at the start of this round. So the sealed decks with the very best records. I expect to see lots of synergies, a laser-focused game plan, along with just the most powerful cards in the format.
Yeah, I expect the same, and I already saw some sweet stuff going on in Mark Tobias' hand. So I imagine that we're in for a fun overall match, and one of them is going to get to 9-0 and get to draft at pod number 1 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we will likely have approximately 8 undefeated players at the end of the day, give or take. So it's gonna be fun tomorrow, especially to tune in for the draft to see the very best players draft this format. But for sealed, decks are typically not going to be as high powered as draft, but you still see like a Shriekmaw going to the graveyard there, very powerful card. Well, the players are just setting up in the beginning. Dimir Guildmage for Marcus Angelin, and a Crow of Dark Tidings for Mark Tobias. They could trade, that's not too bad to trade your 2/2 bear with a late game ability for a 2/1 flyer.
We'll see. I mean, Mark Tobias already had Fatalist Looting with Fiery Temper in his hand from the start. So certainly can kill the Dimir Guildmage or anything else that is going to come up with 3 or less toughness if he needs to. And just the pass here from Marcus Angelin on 3 mana here. The Crow will start to get some work, and we'll see if Mark found the second Swamp for the Canker Abomination, or if he just adds something like a Hissing Iguanar to the board.
I don't see the second Swamp yet.
No, just the third mountain though. Remember, he did search up a mountain with a Terramorphic Expanse. Okay, there's the Iguanar that I mentioned. So 3 mana, 3/1, and whenever another creature control dies, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker.
And Tobias actually chose not to block the attacking Dimir Guildmage on the previous turn, which effectively says, well, I'm not gonna try to go for some kind of long controlling game. I'm perfectly happy to enter a damage race where the evasion ability on my creature is going to be valuable.
Yeah, Mark is still not afraid to expose his Guildmage, it looks like. Yeah, he swings in for 2.
Yeah, Mark Tobias is probably just planning to win the game before the activated ability of Dimir Guildmage really comes into play.
Yeah, there's Archaeomancer bringing back the Slate of Hand. Not the most powerful thing you can be doing.
No, we've seen Archaeomancer bring back stuff like Pulse of Murasa to set up some kind of loop, or powerful 6 mana sorceries. A Slate of Hand, well, it's a bit of value, but not the best. At the same time, Archaeomancer does potentially trade for the Hissing Iguanar, so a 1/2 is actually a super relevant body on this board.
Yeah, Mark Tobias, I wouldn't say unlucky here. He played the Fatalist Looting fully, I think, thinking he would be discarding the Fiery Temper, killing a creature and swing in. He actually drew a Murderous Redcap. It's probably better to play at 4 mana, because he also drew a land here, but he actually goes for the Fiery Temper. And what else?
And before he discards Fiery Temper, then actually chooses not to cast it to play the Redcap instead. I don't see that happening though. But,
discards Swamp here. Plays the Fire Temper on the Archaeomancer. Iguana triggers.
Yeah, triggers whenever any creature dies, even on the opposing side.
That's what makes that card pretty good.
Still, I mean, even though Marcus is getting down to like a lower life total bit by bit, he must be pretty happy seeing his 1/2 creature trade for a premium removal spell like Fiery Temper. According to many, basically the best common in the entire format.
Ooh, Tasigur, the Golden Fang.
Well, hello.
A card we haven't seen much this weekend just yet. Of course, it is a rare, but that's a great blocker.
Yeah, we've seen this card do quite a bit of work in Modern. As a 4/5 for 5 mana, not at its best, but still a good rate. And a big body that will hold off the Iguanar.
Yeah, there's a red cap taking out the Crow Dart Tyrings, pinging one with the Iguana and swinging for 2. Mark Tobias did well to keep his Crow around because it's been dealing some good damage here. And what interesting was that he discarded the Swamp to the Fadeless Looting, keeping a double black Canker Abomination in his hand, as well as a Scuzzbag Marauders, I think, that costs 5, and he didn't have the 5th mana.
It's kind of a risky plan indeed.
Yeah, very risky.
I mean, it will work out way better if he, draws the Swamp later, and he still has more action left over, but it might backfire.
Yeah, there's a Ether Snipe.
At the same time, I'm looking at the picture of Tessiger. You know, we usually knew this card as the Banana King because the original art showcased some bananas. But in the new art, it is nice art, but I don't actually see any bananas. So can we still call it the Banana King? I don't really think so.
I think we can. I mean, I really like the original art with the bananas. I mean, the bananas added quite a bit to the art and to the impression of the card. It was actually played quite a bit, so you saw it on Battlefield. It's quite a bit. But the new art is also very nice, even though it has no bananas.
Yeah.
Disappointingly. There's the Sleight of Hand that was brought back by the Archaeomancer some time ago, before Marcus Anglin started tapping out for these big guys.
Yep. In the meantime, good old Scuzzles arrived on the battlefield as well. 5/2, trample with persist. And given that Marcus currently has a bunch of big creatures on the battlefield, that Scuzzbag Marauders is looking quite powerful. It's not at its best when the opponent has like a 2/2 and then like a 1/1 to trade off for both sides, but when you can attack into Tessiger or Ether Snipe, you're more than happy to get in there with that Scuzzbag Marauders.
Yeah, get in here. So
and even if like some die, you still get hissing Iguanar triggers. So
sure.
Mark Tobias' board represents a lot of incremental damage.
That's a great play from Marcus here. With the Fate's Feathers on the Scuzzbag Marauders, gains him 4 life, and also potentially clears the way.
Aggressive.
Yeah, I like it.
Very aggressive.
And it's like, let me dial it back a little bit here. I mean, it's just because of the danger of blocking with the Murder's Red Cap, right? I mean, that potentially represents quite a bit of damage. Surely Marcus Anglin has some sort of follow-up here. Maybe like a Turn to Mist, maybe on the Ether Snipe.
Something like that. Could have been like a Just the Wind. But
Sure.
Given that Mark Tobias has the opportunity of jump blocking with Murderous Red Cap, and then you get to ping 1 damage with the Iguana, another damage with the Murderous Red Cap. Put Marcus down to 7 already, then attack with Iguana and Red Cap. Right, you get Marcus down to a very low life total quickly. At least there is a blocker, so that makes up for it. But against a red-black deck full of removal, not sure that will live a long life.
Yeah, our life total app has crashed a little bit here, so please bear with us. Time to bring back Frank Karsten, the umpire.
Marcus Anglin 9, Mark Tobias 12, I believe.
I actually think the last change wasn't even counted.
Oh.
So I think Tobias is on 12, and I think Anglin... Oh. All right, never mind. It already
there was also the Fate Feathers at some point.
Yeah. All right.
Fine.
The Magma is great here. It's a decent body, of course, but it can also sacrifice the Scuzzbag Marauders, which would mean it would persist back. Also, actually, it might be, it's almost close to lethal, right? The activations together with the Iguana is kind of like a small combo.
Right, every 1 mana that you sink into the Magma effectively represents 2 damage. Right, you can sack the Scuzzbag Marauders twice. So that can add up pretty quickly. Yeah,
and Marcus Anglin only just drawing with the Demir Mage. Doesn't have anything that powerful just yet. But I can see why these decks are, in our 8-0 bracket, so to speak. Like, both are displaying strong cards with some nice synergy within their particular archetype.
I mean, looking at Mark Tobias' deck, it is just an aggressive red-black deck with lots of incidental damage and just good card quality overall. Marcus's deck, apart from the Tessiger, doesn't look that impressive so far. I mean, all the cards are fine, but nothing that really like stands out as being exceptional.
Yeah.
So Ether Snipe attacking here. Well, don't think Mark will be blocking with the Magma. He will rely on that activated ability quite a bit.
Yeah,
I guess you can jump block with Murderous Redcap, but wouldn't it be better to just jump block next turn and then sacrifice the Murderous Redcap to the Magma? So taking 4 is fine.
Yeah, not an impressive turn here for Marcus, who just played a Terramorphic Expanse and a Deranged Assistant. And already Mark Tobias sizing up his lands. I mean, he drew a Chrome Crusader, which is not particularly great, but
no, it represents 2 damage.
Exactly, it can block as well.
Yeah. Maybe if you target it, you get another token, which again, thanks to the Magma Hissing Iguana interaction, also represents 2 damage. Like, I don't think Mark will be attacking here. That Tessiger is keeping the fort.
Yeah, I mean, Mark is already counting how much damage he can do.
He's getting close to lethal pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about the Crow of Dark Tidings. There's the full art Tessiger, the Golden Fang. There's an Olivia's Dragoon, 1 mana cheaper compared to the Crow of Dark Tidings that we know Mark has in his hand, and he probably wants to keep up mana for shenanigans with the Magma.
Right, so I think Mark has effectively lethal on board, counting this turn and the next one. He can line up some jump blocks, sacrifice to the Magma, trigger the Hissing Iguana. You basically need to sacrifice 6 creatures in total to get there, and well, thanks to the persist on the Scuzzback Marauders, he can get there.
Yeah.
Between this turn and the next.
He set up a combo, and Marcus hasn't had any removal spells to speak of to get rid of either the Iguana or now the Magma. So we'll see if Marcus finds something here. Remember, he still has that Dimir Guild Mage. He can keep digging for cards if he wants to.
Yeah, he needs either a way to gain life or removal spell for either of the 2 creatures, or some way to set up a lethal attack on this turn, but that will be quite difficult given that Mark has plenty of jump blockers. Then again, we just said that like the cards from Marcus Ongelin's deck look fine, but nothing that would make me think, well, this is an easy 8-0 deck. So maybe we just haven't seen the best yet, and this is the turn where all the haymakers come down, setting up some bizarre game-winning combo maybe.
I can see how his deck can win a lot of games, though. Like these kind of small interactions sometimes he can be pretty aggressive with his deck as well, and has some late game reach.
But just drawing a card with Dimir Guild Mage, he's digging for answers, and he's almost out of time.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, generally speaking, when I look at red-black decks in this format, it seems to be mainly like around Madness. You have several black and red Madness cards, as well as discard enablers. But between Magma and Hissing Iguana, there is indeed this like sacrifice angle as well. And the gold card, Garna the Bloodflame, also works pretty well with that.
So end of turn Mark Tobias sacrifices the Scuzzback Marauder that was Fate's Fettered to kill a Deranged Assistant. It looks like he's potentially thinking about attacking as well. But I think he might fire off the Chrome Crusader at Marcus' face. He's doing the math, so I think he probably now worked out that he probably has enough.
Yep.
Right, sacrifices the red cap first. Marcus takes 2 here, 1 from the Magma activated ability, 1 from the triggered ability of the Iguana. Now I think Mark just
flings all of his creatures at Marcus, and that should be enough. As long as you don't accidentally sacrifice the Hissing Iguana first, all should be well.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus tapped out here, so he just has to sack the Crusader, take 2, down to 5, Sack the Dragoon, now you're down to 3. Sack this Marauder, down to 1. And stack Magma to itself, deal 2 more damage.
It's a plan,
Or
and
just
it worked.
even stack the Iguana, doesn't matter at that point. So
Yep.
Mark Tobias 1 game away from the perfect day 1 GP here. And he's certainly looking to put some more good results under his belt. He's been flying a little bit under the radar recently. He did play the World Magic Cup.
He did. He did have to win German nationals to get there,
Yep.
given that his countryman Christian Haug took the lead in terms of pro points.
Yeah, I mean the Mark Tobias' team the previous year made it all the way to the top 4, I believe, at the World Magic Cup in Nice. So the year afterwards, I think they lost playing for top 8 in the last round, and in very unfortunate circumstances. As I was covering that match, Christian Haug just couldn't draw lands for like 7 or 8 turns, like digging with his Explorer creatures. All right, let's have a quick look at the standing to see who is still undefeated in the room. And there you have a few names that you might recognize: Torel Severin, Arne Huschenbett, the 2 Germans from Berlin. Both at 8-0, doing really well actually. Arne Huschenbett was also doing well in Warsaw in the previous GP, and Torolf is a known GP grinder here in Europe. Then we have Marcus Angelin, and look, your buddy Philip van Donselaar.
Yeah,
in
representing
7th place.
the Netherlands, and very well, I have to say. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And it's,
Speaking of good players, Pascal Viren, recently platinum thanks to his top 8 in GP Warsaw. He did get to platinum, did not manage to get into the MPL in time, but he's had a very good year behind him, and
he just keeps winning.
Yeah, he just keeps winning. He's on a great streak, so potentially he might get into another top 8 and further solidify his pro points tally before the pro points go away for the time being. All right, we also have Mark Tobias, of course, that we saw, and also a couple of other players at the end there. The Czech players, Andrej Smatana, Maciej Kubicek, Zbigniew Gianda, not very well known, but they rounding out our undefeated players going to this round. And of course, then the players with a draw. Of course, Tom Law is a draw. I don't know if you guys don't know Tom Law, but he's the person who went undefeated at the latest GP, but picking up 4 or 5 draws on the way.
A very methodical player.
very much so. And the other players do have a draw to their name, so they're also technically undefeated, but not with a perfect record.
Yeah, exactly. You do want to finish with the pristine 9-0 at the end of the day.
And players at 7-1 going to last round. There's a lot of known names here. Kasper Nielsen, recent top 8. Nikolai Herzog, Pro Tour top 8. Petr Sokurek, known in quantity. Andrea Mengucci, MPL player extraordinaire.
Still trying to go for his very first Grand Prix top 8.
I
mean, he has been like multiple Pro Tour top 8s to his name already.
3 PT top
but
8s.
that GP top 8 still eluding him.
Yeah, and Andrei Strasky, our mutual friend as well. A couple of others like Alexa Telerov, Dan Proit, or Mattia Rizzi also going strong with records of 7-1. If they can manage to win the last one, they're going to be great sport for tomorrow. However, remember, this GP is huge. You will need 13 wins and 2 losses to make it into the top 8. And I believe, given how the setup usually works, even this might not be enough to make the top 8 this time around.
It might come down to tiebreakers indeed. Like there were approximately 2,500 players at the main event, not to mention the abundance of participants at side events. So I mean, these master sets filled with reprints always lead to large turnouts.
Yeah, it's a great tournament to be in, and this tournament hall has been home to many GPs before, and I have very fond memories of Prague GPs in general. But let's see if one of these players can make history by going 9-0 at this GP, and potentially then making a run. It's been a while since we've seen a great GP run, like a 15-0 run. Those are rare. They do happen a few times here and there.
I can't even remember the last time it happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened last year at an American GP, but I don't remember the players or what format it is. So we'll just have to see. There's a Ghoul Caller's Apprentice here from Mark Tobias. Just kick things off. No third land from Marcus Angelin, who has a deranged assistant. Can Mark Tobias punish him here?
It's kind of a land if it leaves.
Will it does. Okay. No third turn play from Mark Tobias here. Can Marcus Angelin do something with 3 mana? Looks like he did. Does he? Well, he does mill a land there. But finds a Vessel of Endless Rest. That's all again right. Developing his mana a little slow. Let's see if Mark Tobias can find something at 4 mana, if he does have a 4th land, of course. Yes.
Yeah, out of the mana troubles for Marcus.
Well, unless there's a murderous red cap. There we go.
Well, at least he has the vessel, so he has access to 3 mana. You know, also with his other color, we should have a game at least.
Yeah, the color fixing will definitely be important. There's a land for Marcus Angelin, so he's up to 4 now, thanks to the vessel. The vessel has been an all-star for me all weekend long so far. Like, so many of the control decks really rely on the color fixing that the vessel provides.
And also putting a card on from the graveyard onto the bottom in this format with so many cards that rely on the graveyard is actually huge. If you can put, say, a flashback card onto the bottom, that's almost the same as drawing a card.
Yeah. Chainer's Edict, not at its best here, but Mark Tobias sacrifices the Murderous Red Cap, pings Marcus Angelin for 1 with the triggered ability off of that persist. All right, let's see if Mark Tobias can have some haymaker here. Dimir Guildmage is a good follow for Marcus Angelin. Does block the red cap effectively and can trade with the accomplice.
Well, Mark can still attack with the Ghoul Color's accomplice, but he'd better add some extra pressure to the board, because if you are Mark, you just know that every single card in Marcus's hand is some spell, probably an impactful one, because there are certainly not any lands in Marcus's hand.
Canker Abomination. I'm good. I'm really good at this game. I haven't seen Mark's hand, but like I'm just guessing cards that we've seen in previous game.
I thought you were just guessing the best possible card to play on this board.
I was. I mean, but I was kind of narrowing it down, possibly from the cards I saw. And Canker Abomination, the full best rate, 4 mana 6/6 is definitely where you want to be. We know Marcus has Face Feathers and probably other removal spells here, but if he doesn't have an answer quickly, this is just going to take huge chunks out of his life total.
I'm thinking 4 mana 6/6, would that be playable by itself in Constructed? No, that's still not good enough. But for Limited, yeah, it is an absurd rate.
Yeah. There's an Archaeomancer.
Did it actually return?
I don't
anything?
think so.
No, it might just be, well, hello, here's my 1/2 chump blocker, just trying to stay alive here.
We'll see what Mark Tobias does here. We saw his deck can certainly do some cool things, and look at it. Full grip, has both colors of his mana. I think I see a Reckless Charge, a Mark of the Vampire too. I mean, he certainly can have some big swings. Mark already doing the math. This is dangerous living.
With the Mark of the Vampire, I mean, in some sense, it might be appealing to put it onto the Canker Abomination.
Ooh, Reckless Charge.
Oh, wow. That is such a... How much damage is that even? That's 12?
11, 12.
Wow.
And the Archaeomancer cannot block
because
of the trigger. And it has flashback too.
Very aggressive lines here by Mark Tobias. And wow, this deck is really coming together.
I told you it's good.
Yeah.
This is the good advantage. If a deck can be aggressive while also being able to fight with some of the other decks in the late game, I think Mark Tobias found a great recipe.
Yeah, and next turn he also has ways to target his arena athlete again, which means that Marcus now has to somehow come up with, I guess, 2 additional blockers. And even that's not good enough. He needs 3 additional blockers to survive. Yeah.
I mean, I could find the line of surviving here, but probably not using cards from the set.
Yeah.
Like Dual Shot would be nice. Okay, last cast is a start.
That is a very important start. So at least now he doesn't lose to, say, Reckless Charge on the arena athlete. And now Chainer's Edict takes out, well, another creature. So if Mark has a removal spell for the Archaeomancer, he can just get in for the kill. And Slum Reaper, as weird as it is, it does force Marcus to sacrifice his chump blocker. And that Canker Abomination is going to rumble in for the kill, putting Mark Tobias up to a pristine 9-0 record. Congratulations to him, very well done. And well, we'll see both players tomorrow. Both of them get to draft.
Yeah.
But Mark will be able to sit down at table 1 along with all the other undefeateds.
Yeah, and We wanted to show you more Magic. We really did. But all the other matches are already done. Everyone already left home.
I thought this one was quick.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that, this was lightning fast, but the other matches were even faster. And I have good news for you. If you're from Germany and you're a fan of German Magic players, I have great news for you. Because it's not just Mark Tobias that has won his match. Arne Huschenbeth, 9-0. Thoralf Severin, 9-0.
All right,
These three Germans are going to be on pod number 1 tomorrow morning, which is a fantastic achievement, but still the work is not done for them. They just got to get through some drafts and probably beat some of their friends on the way.
Unfortunately, but lots of Germans who are going to be sitting undefeated at the end of the day. But for tomorrow we are going to be doing Ultimate Masters draft. Don't miss it. The draft here starts at 9, and you will be able to see multiple drafts. We'll watch some matches, and it's gonna be sweet because the decks are typically going to be even more powerful, more synergistic than in Sealed.
Yeah, much faster, and it's going to be fun Magic for sure, even if it's going to be different from what we've seen today. All right, see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for some drafts. Can't wait to be there with you. So, see you tomorrow.